once again to this midweek recharge. Of course, this is Pastor Jay with you on another Wednesday as we're releasing this. And whenever you're listening to it or watching it, we appreciate you tuning in. Today, I want to share with you something from Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 31 that simply says, "For their rock is not as our rock." I love it. I love it. You know, it's interesting because when we read that simple statement, there is so much richness in it. You know, people build their lives on the rocks of this world. And let's be honest, the rocks of this world are going to crumble, and they're going to fall apart, and they're going to dissipate. But if you build your life on the rock, which is Christ Jesus, you cannot crumble. It will not crumble. It will not falter. It will not fail. It will not be destroyed. That's the point. You know, sometimes every time I read this verse, I think of the story that Jesus told of the wise man and the foolish man. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. Now, that's understandably kind of weird when you think about it, because if you're going to build a house, you don't want to build your house on sand, right? Because there's no foundation. And that was what Jesus was trying to say. What we do in this world is we try to build our lives on this world. Well, let's be honest. This world should not be our home. We should just be passing through. That's exactly what that song says. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue, right? And that's the point. See, sometimes we sit and we go, okay, this is what I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this. And we put all of our focus on this world. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have our focus somewhat in this world, because we have to pay bills, we have to make money, we have to do things so that we can provide for our families, and I understand that. But sometimes we get a mindset so much of in this world that then we forget about the world to come that we should be working for. And so then when something goes wrong in this world, we don't have the rock Christ Jesus as our foundation. And if the rock Christ Jesus is not our foundation that our lives are built on, then when something tragic happens, we don't have that strong foundation. And thus that is not there to keep us standing strong in the midst of the trial. That's why we have to have a strong foundation. If you're going to build a house, and I'm not a builder by no means, but I do know this: if you're going to build a house, you have to have a strong foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, your house is going to sink. And that's exactly what happened when the story of the wise man and the foolish man. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and when the rains descended and the floods came and the winds blew and it beat upon the house, it fell because it was not founded on a strong foundation. And what Jesus was bringing forth in this simple story was to try to tell people that we have to have a foundation that is in Jesus. Because if we don't have a foundation in God, if we don't have a foundation in good Bible church going, and that's another thing. If we don't have that, if we don't live in the Word, if we don't live in prayer, and we don't go to church, that is where we crumble. I know so many people that say, I don't have to go to church to be a Christian. Well, I disagree with that for the simple reason that I know that if you're going to have a strong foundation, you have to go to church. It just is. That is part of building a strong foundation. If you don't have that foundation of strong foundation in church attendance and in Bible reading and in prayer, it's not going to work. It's like trying to build a foundation or build a house with bricks with no mortar. Okay? You just put the bricks on top of bricks and you just do that. You have nothing there to hold it together. And that's kind of what church is. Church is sort of like that mortar that kind of helps hold the rest of the stuff of the prayer and the Bible reading together to give you a very strong foundation. So what I'm getting at today is this. Make sure you build your house on the rock, Christ Jesus. Build your spiritual house on the rock, Christ Jesus. And then when all the trials and tribulations come, because they will, they come to all man. When they come, you will not crumble and you will not fall apart because you have a strong foundation. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. This is just a little midweek recharge. I would really appreciate it if you give me a little thumbs up there and let YouTube know you appreciate this video. Also, be sure to share it with somebody and be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free, 100% free, and hit that bell and you'll be notified when a new video goes up. All right, until we're with you next time, this is Pastor Jay wishing you a blessed day, and we will see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.